Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. And can I tell you, we got it right. Yes, we were right in the context of our predictions for nomination day, for the elections, and even today, that the announcement would have been made today. So we got it right, and we're here, and we want to share with you. We want to hear from you. So as you rock and come in, guys, let's just hit the like button, hit the subscription button. All right, let me know if you're hearing me loud and clear there in the chat. So again, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. So right now I'm just going to go to some music so that we can rock and come in, rock and come in. All right, welcome one, welcome all. Let's go to some music before we get to that announcement and open the phone lines. So welcome one, welcome all. All right, so if you're in the chat, let me know once you're here. Welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Voices in Education. Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way, so we do not bash anyone. We do not belittle anyone. We keep it real and respectful. So it doesn't matter your views, whether you're PNP, JLP, no P. If you're just Jamaica, all right, land we love, that's totally okay. We just share our views in a respectful way. So we keep it real and respectful. Once we open the phone line, if you're going to call, please do not defame or disrespect anyone. It doesn't matter if it's the Prime Minister or the opposition leader or members of the PNP or the JLP. We keep it real and respectful. But guys, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? You know what I'm going to tell you? We got it right. We were spot on in the context of the dates for this election. We were spot on. We got everything right. Check, 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 check. We got the date when it was going to be announced following our first prediction. And when we saw how things were going, we got the nomination day correct. We got the election day correct. So it's like, hey, come on, give us some credit, guys. Give us some credit. If you have not yet hit the subscription button, what are you waiting for? And that is why when we come here, we bring you information. We're not just going with, yeah. Sometimes we have a little fun here and there, but the information is definitely important. You remember when we brought you that the legal aspects concerning the time period between when the Prime Minister announces the date of the election, the nomination day, and absolutely the election day, like the minimum and the maximum. And so we were able to make that prediction. All right, Mark, welcome. But we made it, I don't know when Dr. Campbell did, but if you have been following us here, we made it. So we are so happy that you can rely on us, and we rely on you too, because we don't have all the information. We learn from each other. So if you're in the chat right now, the easiest ways to support us is by hitting the like button, hitting the subscription button, and of course share, share, share. If you can support the goal in the chat, that would be fantastic. But we ask that you hit the like button, the share button, and of course the subscription button. So what I am going to do before I open the phone line, just to get a sense of your views in the context of the election date. All right, now we know the day. All right, so we want to hear from you, but I'm just going to go to that last part of the Prime Minister's speech, just so that we can have that as a context, and then we move forward into opening the WhatsApp line. So welcome one, welcome all. Let's see if we can get this going for you.
A democracy. And what you see gathered here in your numbers, I want you to understand. Yes, some of you, most of you, are supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. But there are persons here who are not. There are persons who are curious, who come to see. They are just Jamaicans like everybody else. I am sure there are PNP people here as well. I'm sure. Welcome, my PNP friends. Welcome, welcome. And remember now, we are international. It is amazing. As I am walking and I stop somewhere, somebody said, take my phone and say hello to my niece. She there foreign. She want to come home, come vote for you. So I want to acknowledge all Jamaicans in the diaspora who are interested to come and vote. I welcome you back home. I am grateful for your support. This crowd is a representation of Jamaica. You make Jamaica's democracy stronger. There are many countries in the world where this can't happen. Don't take it for granted. I have to stand here and account to you for the authority that you give to us as the government. and there can be no break in that. The authority is not forever. At a certain period of time, how we use the authority has to be reviewed. Our stewardship must be reviewed by you, the people. There is a classic fable, parable in the Bible about the talents. Some stewards hide the talents, make nothing of it. But we are not those stewards. We grow the talents. We take the resources and we make them more. We are good stewards. And we ask you, the people, the masters, to make a judgment, to make a choice on who will steward your affairs. So earlier today, I advised His Excellency the Governor General of my intention to announce the general elections for him to set certain processes in place, including the dissolution of Parliament. I now declare that nomination day will be Monday, August 18th. And the general election date is fixed at Wednesday, September 3.
Ring the bell, then every now. Ring the bell, then every now. Labor rights, we ready now. Labor rights, we ready now. Get the anthem ready now. Get the anthem ready. The river coming down, no man to bank it coming down. The river coming down, no man to bank it coming down. Labor rights coming down, to bank it coming down. Brother coming down, to bank it coming down. Who was the champion? Who was the big man? Who run the island? Who got the best plan? Who was the champion? Who was the big man? Who run the island? Who got the best plan? Who was the champion?
I also wish to inform you that local government by-elections in the Chancery Hall Division, the Olympic Gardens Division, the Seabright Gardens Division, and the Denham Town Division will be held concurrently with the general election in those constituencies.
Labor rights, we ready now. Labor rights, we ready now. Ring the bell, then every now. Ring the bell, then every now. Labor rights, we ready now.
I will ask the Minister of Local Government to formally make the announcement.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Just to advise that after consultation and a letter written by Kingston's mayor, we have taken the decision to endorse the announcement made by the most honorable Prime Minister. So all 4 divisions on election day will have their rightful representation.
To my fellow Jamaicans, you now know the date. You now know the time. We ask you to choose wisely, choose Jamaica, choose the Jamaica Labour Party, choose the government that has delivered and will continue to deliver for you. Choose the government that cares and loves you. Choose the Jamaica Labour Party. God bless you. Go home safely. Campaign hard. Embrace all Jamaicans. Bring you, your neighbor, your family, everybody to the polling station. God bless you. Love you. Get home safely.
All right, so there you have it. That was the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. They're announcing the election date, the nomination date, as well as the divisions that will be having a by election. So that's from the, let me tell you, the KSAMC. All right, so the divisions are Chancery Hall, Olympic Gardens, Seavright Gardens, and Denham Town. All right, so those elections will run concurrently with the general election. So they will happen at the same time as the general election. So that was also part of that big announcement that we were anticipating from the Prime Minister. Now, there is a response from the opposition leader and Mr. Mark Golding, and I'm just going to see if I can have that ready for you to just play. So let's go there.
Here on TVJ. Firstly, quickly, what is your reaction? How are you reading this date? Is it a strategy from the Prime Minister, or is this a man who was cornered and really had very few options?
Well, I think he had to call it now because he painted himself into a corner. So much so, the General Secretary was able to accurately say last night that nomination day would be on the 18th and the election would be on the 3rd of September.
Okay, so no, Mark, you were in the chat saying, so that was last evening. We made this prediction before last evening. Cheryl, big up yourself. So guys, as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button.
That's unprecedented, where an opposition general secretary is able to say accurately what the date would be. And it's because he had no options really. And had he been in a position to confidently move forward into an election, he would have called it long ago. But we are ready, we are prepared, we have done the work, our party is united and strong. We've used the last few months to further refine our message of hope for the Jamaican people. The policies and programs that we are putting forward are relevant and tackle some of the deep-seated issues that face this nation and we have to confront and get over if we are to take Jamaica to the next level. So we're very pleased that finally the election is coming and we know the date and we're ready to roll. Our party is united, well organized. We've done a lot of work strengthening the organization of the party. I've been on the road all over the country. The people have taken very well to me and I'm looking forward to running through the tape and forming the next government so we can get the work of the people going. And that is what's going to happen.
The Prime Minister used a portion of his address this evening to the Jamaican people to go through some of his plans. You told us that you're going to put out your party's manifesto about Tuesday this week, but just give us the biggest one you can find from the manifesto coming up that you want to put to the Jamaican people this evening. One big thing out of that is a plan or promise from the People's National Party.
No, I'm not going to be going into that. You'll hear what we have to say in our manifesto on Tuesday when we launch it. And you know, it covers a lot of different grounds, some major items and other items of importance as well. And we've been, for the last several months, developing some of the key points that we want to get across, coming out of the budget debate actually. Issues around housing, issues around land, issues around education and tackling some of the real challenges that the people are facing when it comes to those things. The health sector we have some strong policies for, and of course, governance and the whole question of having a government in which the people can have trust and confidence. We are going into an election with a Prime Minister whose statutory declarations for the Integrity Commission are not certified, who's under investigation for the crime of illicit enrichment. That is unprecedented, unheard of in any democracy around the world. And Jamaican people must judge that when they make, when they come to make their decision as to who they think can take this country forward.
Do you see as a Prime Minister cornered in terms of options?
All right, so that was Mr. Golding there. All right, so we're going to open the and that clip that you heard was courtesy of the Jamaica Gleaner. All right, so we're going to put the WhatsApp number in the chat. Paul, I see you there in the chat. Welcome. Remember, we're keeping it real and respectful. All right, so I'm going to place the WhatsApp number in the chat. If you're going to call me, please, we don't bash anyone, we don't defame anyone. All right. So if you know you can't keep it real and respectful, please don't call. All right. We want to keep it real and respectful. So we want to hear from you. What are your views in the context of the general elections on the 3rd of September? Is it a good date? Who do you believe is going to take this one? And by the way, let me tell you what our poll result is saying. And this is just a community poll. Guys, I'm seeing quite a lot of us here, and you haven't yet hit the like button and the subscription button. What are you waiting for? So, the WhatsApp number is in the chat there. You can definitely give us a call. We would want to hear from you. All right, so our poll, Jamaica Labour Party. So the question is, which party will win the 2025 general elections? JLP 77%, People's National Party 23%. And you can participate by voting in this poll. I'm just going to drop the poll link right there in the chat. So it's right there in the chat. You can follow the link and you can vote as well. You can participate. So we're giving you ways to participate and share in this process. Now that the elections are called, right, our next step here is to wait for nomination day when we have all the official candidates for the different constituencies, and then we will proceed to start our election predictions. All right, so again, welcome one, Mats Morgan. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button. And yes, it's the yes, September 3rd, and that's the election date. So now we want you to call in, Ovi. All right, let me know if you're going to check in with us this evening. Come on, it's time for you to hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and let us just continue to grow stronger together. All right, so the big question is, what are your views on the prime minister's announcements? Who do you believe is going to take this one? We know now that it's officially the 3rd of September that we'll have the next general election. So is it the 3rd of September for a third term for the JLP, or will the PMP take this one? So that's a big question, and I would love to hear from you. So come on in. If this is your first time here and you just want to say hello, you can do that too. So we're taking some quick calls because we have been on all evening. All right, so Ovi, connect, and yes, guys, rock and come in, give us a call, and let us know your views. So now we know the date. All right, nomination day is on August 18, and the elections on the 3rd of September, and we want to hear from you. Hello, Soji. Big up yourself and talk to me nice, because I predict everything.
Yeah, I remember that. Me glad you remember. I said me predicted. You said it will be nomination and you remember I tell you.
Me predict it
And so the
before
election
you,
will come
man.
between the second to the third. You remember?
Me predict it before you, man. Me never guess the date. You missed that night, the Soji.
Me miss the date. Yeah. Date me never say third, but me didn't know say the 18 will be nomination.
So what you think? What you think about? What you think about the dates now?
It's all right because me go down and me can go buy me ticket tomorrow.
Okay,
I come know the date.
Okay, boss. Okay,
Yeah,
boss.
man. The palm away, go down there. Me just I come in. Just a reach on and I come in from one party. I'm coming home, and meanwhile me did me I watch I watched the thing from the. Mm-hmm. So well, the data now, so they're
So
looking for suing also.
so you say
Going down
September.
70 where I go down now.
Okay, wow. So you're saying then the 3rd of September for the third term. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, third term. Third term.
So
No doubt about that.
you recognize that the 2020 elections were held on the 3rd of September.
No, I never recognize that. Why thank you. You really vice of education. Yeah man, thank you for that. We never
So
know that. Third
yes.
term man.
So you say
Third
the
term.
third term. Okay, for the third.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
that's third term.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
third term.
So was there
Mm.
anything,
So
I don't know, were you listening to the Prime Minister's speech?
no, I couldn't hear anything because I'm not pionized. I don't hear
Okay.
one God Almighty.
Okay, well, I'm not going to quiz you on anything like that, but you say 70 are you
I
going
don't.
down?
Yeah, 70 away. So
Okay.
when make arrangement, I go and me go inside, me also park up the vehicle, me go inside, me I go find out from him and him what date in August then me could I go down. Mm.
Okay. Okay.
Going down and struggle up. Because we have to do everything for this now. Mm-hmm.
All right, soldier. I hear you, boss. I hear you.
And third term, yeah. So me know friend them I want them. Me see since that driver come down, me see about 17 missed call. Me know a man them a call. I couldn't find out what I go. But the greatest thing we know is so my man they might want to go down before we call it before the 18th. Mm.
Before
Some of them want to go down before.
before nomination day?
Yeah, some of them, but you know, think me I go before I maybe go down about the 28th or 21st.
Okay.
Mm. Can get to do some campaign. So all right, then now have a good night,
All
and
right.
the rest of listeners.
All right, Soji. Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in. All right, guys. So there you have it. You know, if you are not aware, the general elections, the next elections will be on the 3rd of September. All right. So hello, caller.
Hello, how are you doing?
Ovi Wagwan.
I am here, I'm here, I'm here.
Talk to us. Talk to the.
Congratulations on the predictions, like you know them.
Oh my, like, and Mark was sharing in the chat that Dayton predicted, and I heard the opposition saying that he did last evening. I'm like, come on, man, you guys could have come over and asked me because we did before. Yeah, so yeah, that was good to just get those dates. And guys, I'm a student of the politics. I'll just say that and stop there somewhat. So I'm learning, but you have to understand certain dynamics to kind of figure out, and context to kind of figure out certain things. So yeah, that was good. So you were tuned into the rally. What are your views on it, generally speaking?
I think it was a good rally, well attended, and the member of parliament that spoke, they definitely highlighted the strong points of the party over the terms that they were in, and represented the work that they did in a meaningful way, I would say. They also touched on, intricate stuff as well that affects, the regular Jamaican. They talked about the student loan and how they're planning to, make sure that the student loan is accessible to a lot of persons, in terms of that, and they're going to also make other changes to make payments easier. So one of the things that they mentioned was to lengthen the payment period so that the monthly payments can be less, so less hassle on, a particular person paying back. And, so they touched on that. They also touched on kids that had learning disabilities in terms
Mm-hmm.
of autism and other kids who are on the spectrum. So they are going to make provision for that. And also the whole extending the water system and so on. So they touched on it holistically and highlighted the amount of work that they're doing. And I pretty much think that they gave the foundation to say that we have done some good work, and if you want this work to continue, then give us a third. So that's pretty much how I would come to.
Okay. Was there any big thing that stood out to you that you'd say if you were to leave, I guess, watching or, that presentation or just in general, was there any one thing that you would walk away with that you would say this is something that perhaps is going to resonate with you?
So I think what resonated with me was the fact that Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, mom was there supporting him, and he speaks very detailed experience about him growing up and hanging around with his mom, and just showing that he has come from humble beginning and has made it to the prime minister. And I think that will be inspirational to many people who are, living in the ghetto, having a rough, upbringing, show that you can still push forward and achieve. So I guess that was my biggest highlight from all. And I really appreciate the fact that, Olivia Babdige called up Andrew's mom to be acknowledged. So that was kind of cool as well. But it was generally just thinking about the accomplishment. So those are the highlights for me, to be honest.
Okay.
Can you share your highlights?
Well, I was in it really trying to see if we were spot on with the date, but there were quite a few things in the context of, and this is just me talking from memory now. So I know JPS is a big one. I believe Minister Vaz brought that up. The student loan was another big one, and I have some issues again with the interest rate and the tied to academic performance that can possible that can be lower some way. So I have shared with you that some
Okay.
situations may prevent students from performing at their best academically, and if you can do something for everybody in terms of a lower interest rate, then I would appreciate that. So that is something that for sure that I have talked to you about, and perhaps I've shared here too. So that it's good though to know that you don't need a guarantor to access student loans. So that is definitely good. um, the next thing that I am thinking that stood out to me was when was it Minister Tufton? So he was sharing in the context of the upgrades. I believe he's the campaign manager for the JLP. I might get that wrong, but he has something to
I
do
think
with the
so.
campaign. And then he went to a clip, and we're gonna perhaps get that into like some video updates, guys. He went to a clip from former minister, was he a former minister, Senator KD Knight,
Very nice,
saying
yeah.
that Mark Golding should never lead, was it the country or something to that effect.
Yes,
So
become
and
prime minister.
yeah, so that part of it is and I wonder, because as I shared previously, this election is going to trigger a leadership runoff for either party. Whichever party loses, we're going to hear more about that. So whichever party loses this election, they're going to have some issues in their party to deal with, and I feel that those issues are going to lead to a leadership race or runoff. They're going to have that to deal with. Now, with this date, I feel that it's a good date for the JLP in the context of calling the elections, and I've shared that with you. And I don't know if I want to say this, but perhaps I've said it here, but I've shared it with you, the reasons why when I was predicting and just rationalizing the election period, why they should not go beyond the first week in September. And actually, I was specific to the exact day that and by, let me just let you guys know, we don't get any support from any peas, all right? We just do this for you people and to share with you people. You are the ones who come here and support us. You like, you share, you subscribe, because we have this platform. It's an open platform, and so we hear from right across the board. No, I feel, while the parties are going to say whatever, I don't. Maybe last evening the PMP sensed that this was going to happen in the context of the dates, but if they knew that this date was, if they knew long before now, we would not have heard about that meeting that they were organizing for Crossroads. That's just my thinking. And so they have to now go back and ensure that, everything is good on their side. They have been campaigning for a bit, they have been moving around for a bit, but they have now, they say they're going to share their manifesto on Tuesday. And you heard just now the opposition leader was pressed to kind of give us, what can we expect. But, he shared that they're going to launch it on Tuesday. So we want to be here for that, and hopefully we have some availability to bring that to you live. If not, we'll figure it out somehow. But that is important, because we are hearing or seeing at least, those record of achievements. We are hearing now with this day things that they have done and things that they plan to do. And yeah, we still want to get something concrete from the opposition. So I feel that the sooner they get into kind of leveling the playing field, it's better for them as a party moving forward and going to the polls. And I believe that part is definitely important, um to kind of come and say, okay, these are the things, because we're hearing things and we're not seeing the how sometimes, and that is important for people who are going to make informed decision. The next thing too that I shared, I believe Soji and I were talking, and I said, and Soji was sharing that, the JLP, they're doing this, they're doing that. And I said to Soji, well, what is a priority for some people may not necessarily be a priority for other people. And so that part is important. But one thing though, Ovi, that I believe that the Prime Minister should not have touched was the teacher issue this evening. I feel like that could have been left alone. He was just talking, and it wasn't really scripted or anything. But I feel like he could have left that alone. I don't see how that. I understand what he's trying to say, hey, they're going to say you can't get this, in terms of the student loan. If you owe, they're going to clear it or whatever. And he's saying, it is not possible, because it's a revolving loan, like a revolving fund. And so if it is that they're writing off your loan, what happens to other people? So I was trying to make that point, but I felt that that issue could be left there, because I mean, as we would see, or as we would have seen in the context of the opposition, they seem to be targeting groups. So transport, teachers, we see them with the people with disabilities. So they're targeting groups. And so I felt that, I don't know, and I would love to hear your views on that. I felt that that part could have been, it didn't need to go there. That's just me. That's just me in that context. But overall, they were able to share achievements. They were able to share things that they're going to do and plan to do, and what they did, the key portfolios. in terms of agriculture. So Floyd Green, he came and I believe he was mentioning, was it $1 billion? I think to support pension for farmers and fishers. And so they went to some of those main portfolios. So I guess what we did not hear was really from Dana, but then the education aspects came throughout, like it was weaved throughout the presentation. We heard from Kamina Johnson Smith. What I really wanted to hear more from Kamina was more of the international, happenings and what's happening on that scene, but it was more based to the messages that were shared. And I think she's also, is she the information minister? I think she's also the information, I'm not no, or no, Dana is the information minister. So with Kamina's presentation, I wanted to hear more about, yes, I think she touched a little bit on IMF and so, but I wanted to hear more about Jamaica's standing when you look at it from an international perspective. I felt like I didn't get that from Kamina, and for me, I was looking for that because the other ministers, they were bringing key messages from what they have been doing. So I wanted to hear more from her portfolio. I didn't get much of that from Kamina. But overall, I would say they did well in terms of cementing what they have done, cementing what some of what they're going to do, and also saying to the people that we know that we haven't done all that there is to be done, but we have started the work. And I think the prime minister said it was like a train, and you don't want to disrupt that train. So will the Jamaican people, will the electorate, continue with this train and the work that the JLP is doing, or will they say time come, we need a change, we want to go back to the PNP? Or is it the question, time come, what time? I saw on the PMs back 1 p.m. So I don't know of it, but that's just, I guess, in a little bit of what I saw there happening. And yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you say. But as it relates to the teacher issue, I think he came across to me as just establishing that, once you take the loan, then you're going to you take the student's loan for persons who are listening. Once you take the student's loan, you're expected to pay back, and I think they've made provisions that, you don't pay unless you have a job. I think that's
Yeah, I
something that
think I think that they
yeah,
said they're going to do that, or and also to extend the time. So
time, yeah,
like a mortgage, so it's not so, it's the
credit.
payment is not so much. Well, he said, let me just be clear. He said that they're studying it to see, I guess, if that can become a reality. I don't think it was a promise to say that they're going to do it, but I think they said they've started to look at how they could possibly make that work. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm thinking. I think the point was well made in the sense where, and just in terms of SSC2, he has to be careful, as he said, because if he told the teachers that, he studied and he's going to write it up, then other persons are going to be feeling slighted in that
Yeah,
regard
that's
too.
what he
I
said.
think, yeah. So I think it's a good move, and the fact that he's thinking about making ways are making it a little bit easier for you to make the repayment. I think that's admirable on his behalf. So that's pretty much how I saw that. And I'm going to add this part. It is not about what happened this evening, but it would have affected this evening. I'm not sure if you have spoken about it, but the fact that the PNP cancelled their mass meeting tonight, I want to say that was a good move in the sense where people were protected in the fact that you would have two parties having, exchanges in terms of being in close proximity. Let me put it that way. So I was happy that that decision was taken, and one meeting went ahead and not the other one. So that was really responsible, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Fantastic. Librans, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you there in the chat. So, guys, we can take perhaps about two or so more quick phone calls. So, we have been here all evening. So, we're going to keep this one short and spicy. So, you can definitely stick and stay with us. Ensure that you hit the subscription button, hit the like button, the share button, comment in the chat. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. Please ensure that if you're going to call us, you keep it real and respectful. We don't disrespect anyone, whether you're PNP or JLP. We don't do that and we don't defame, all right? So, and I don't want to disconnect anyone. So, please, if you're going to call us, just keep it real and respectful. We can talk about issues without, defaming people, and, that's totally okay. All right, so we would love to hear from you. If you have not yet hit the like button, what are you waiting for? Hit that like button right now. Hit the subscription button. And it's definitely important for you to turn on your post notification. So tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. And yes, we are going to bring you our constituency predictions. So you want to ensure that you're sticking and staying with us for that. And that will come after nomination day when we have the official candidates for the constituencies. All right, so yes, guys, welcome if you're just tuning in. Also, let us know where you're tuned in from or the constituency, all right, where you are aligned. All right, the constituency that you're aligned with, let us know. Let us know. We would love to hear from you and just to get a sense of what is happening in your area. Again, welcome one, welcome all. I'm not seeing any new comments there, but so Ovi, I don't know if you heard the clip that I played from the opposition leader, and if you have anything to say about his response to the announcement.
Unfortunately, I did not hear that clip.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So he was pretty much sharing that it was expected because Dayton, their general secretary, predicted the election last evening, and I was like, oh, we did that before. They did. And he was saying that that was unprecedented, pretty much saying that the prime minister had no other option but to call it. He was pressured in calling it. So I guess, yeah, that's really my take from what he shared there. What are your views on that?
Well, some of the information is a little sketchy to me, but I'm almost sure I heard that the Prime Minister mentioning that he was going to call it today. So it was kind of convenient that Dayton was able to predict
Last evening.
the last evening.
Yeah, they said,
That's kind of
and they said it last evening after they
yeah,
did their exec meeting. Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of sounding a little sketchy to me. But to be honest with you, I don't agree with the opposition leader in that regard. I
In
think
what
it was
regard?
in terms of the prime minister was pressured in calling the election. I think it was strategically planned, and based on what happened, that was, I guess, a part of why you were able to predict based on trends. So I don't think he was pressured in any way at all. It was strategically chosen, and based on our previous conversations as well, the Jamaica Labour Party has held an election on the 3rd of September in the past, and they were successful. So yeah, I don't think there was any form of pressure in that regard. But let's see what the opposition leader comes up with Tuesday and see how they'll respond to this. And another point regarding the manifesto that the opposition leader is going to put out sometime next week. I don't think they would put their manifesto out if their new election was being called this weekend. That's just my
Why do you say that?
because they because of what happened in the meeting, they would need to adjust the thing. They would need the extra time to adjust and present a stronger manifesto based on what is presented tonight. So I am thinking that they working overtime to alter what they were presenting.
Well, and I guess that's just a part of the game, because if you had something planned and now you hear some other things, but what they have done is to say that they're going to put out a manifesto Tuesday. I believe the Jamaica Labour Party, they share that they're going to put out a manifesto because their record of achievements, that's not their manifesto. So I believe that the JLP's manifesto is going to come after the PNP's manifesto. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. But for sure, the PNP needs something going, and they can't wait too long, because remember now, the party, the JLP is in power, and so they have that to their advantage in terms of, even with the election date. And remember, we're talking about, somebody mentioned some one of these nights about having a fixed election, and I said, really, when you look at a fixed election date, it only helps the party who is in opposition. Like, because I don't see, because everybody knows, let's say the fixed election day would have been, let's say, September 5. If you know it's September 5, you're going to, what if it is that you're going to put on a show to get the votes, you're going to do it, right? And so everybody's going to do what they need to do to ensure that they are ready for September 5. So when it comes to that, really, it's really that the opposition, the party who is not that is not in power, is at a disadvantage, because you don't know how to manage your finances in the context of campaigning, because you could be there campaigning and then boom, the date that you have in mind is not necessarily the date. And so when you think about all that money that you have spent up perhaps too early, then you would perhaps have had a better idea if it was planned. But other than that, I don't see any real advantage of a fixed election date, apart from the party who is in opposition has a better understanding of how to manage their campaign. Because when you think about how, and remember when I said to you that this election is not going to be called before the emancipation independence celebration, because of the holidays, plus you had events like Dream Weekend, and even with Reggae Sumfest, you weren't expecting, I guess, to have the election over those things, when you really really sit down and think about the fact, oh, these things are going to happen. So you won't, a responsible government won't do that, because you understand. So when we went back to the drawing board, guys, to predict a date, we started to bear these things in mind, in the context of, oh, we have these events coming up. So no responsible government is going to have an election period during these things that are going to pull support or tourism, things that are going to drive the economy, and just call an election. So it's the same thing. So when I hear like the business community saying that they will know how to plan, if you have a responsible government to understand what is happening on the ground in the context of events, in the context of how businesses are operating, then they will be very strategic in the context of when they call an election. And so, as I said, if it is fixed or not, that's fine. Like, a lot of places do not have. I know the US, they have. Canada does not have. I don't know if UK. I can't recall UK having, but I mean, It's just one of those things, because if the PNP goes in power, perhaps they don't implement it. We'll see what happens. Because you if you have a card that you can play, you're going to try and play that card. And that's politics. Politics is like a game, people, and you have to understand the game and when to make your move and all those things. You just have to be strategic. You just have to be strategic, and that's just politics. It's just who can understand and manipulate the game. If you look at it that way, and I just say game, not say we're gaming the people, but just just trying for you to get a better understanding, because certain moves that you make can be very detrimental. And so when we were trying to just rationalize and to say, oh, the dates, these are the things, and I'm like, okay, if this prime minister goes beyond the first week in September, then whatever comes his way, he'll have to deal with it. Because I was foreseeing at that time a few issues that could come and haunt the JLP, and perhaps not, I wouldn't say any fault of theirs, but when I think about the likelihood of certain things happening, I'm like, if they're really thinking, they would just get this all done in the very first week of September. So that is definitely important. So we'll see what happens in that context for sure. And we're here for it, guys. So we're going to keep you informed as best as we can. And we're asking you for your support as well. So continue to, be with us, and, hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and let's see what happens. Because again, this election is going to be one that we have to pay close attention to, because I believe the stakes are high for both sides. For both sides. And there isn't one side that wants to lose. And either side that loses this election is going to trigger, I believe, a leadership runoff. Garmel, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here, Garmel. Let us know your views in the context of the announcement. What are your views on the election date? All right. So, yes, Avi, if you're still here. So, guys, we're getting closer to wrapping this one up. And if you haven't yet hit the like button and the subscription button, what are you waiting for? So, we're going to be here for another 5 minutes or so. And then we're going to call this one for this evening. So, Avi.
All right, here, just want to welcome Darnell. Good night to you too. Really happy to have you here. And guys, we were predicting that everyone that was on tonight would give us a like. We're not doing so well with the like. If you're here and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscription button, hit the like button, turn the post notification on, because some of the information that we share here for sure is quite credible, and we want you to be a part of that. So please consider hitting the like button, hitting the subscription button, and just being a member here with us. We appreciate having you here. And for all the persons who are here supporting silently, we appreciate you, and continue to stick and stay here with us. But a great evening. We have the date for the elections now, and persons are just encouraged to go out and exercise their right to vote. So make sure that you have everything in place and go out and vote for the party that you believe will help to advance you.
Yeah, for sure. So that is what we're saying, guys. We're not telling you who you should go and vote for. That is your democratic right. And if you don't vote, a prime minister will be selected. If you vote, a prime minister will be selected. So if you stay home and not vote, then you don't have a say in the outcome. So you can't say, boy, this a party or this a party, so on, so on. So remember, you need to go out there and exercise that right and vote. All right, that is definitely important. So That is definitely important. You have to go there and vote for whoever you want to vote. That is your democratic right. And remember, we shared just in the event that you don't want to be associated with anybody, we shared in the, was it the last live, perhaps, yeah, how you can go on the ECJ's website to check if you're on the voters list. So if you're registered to vote, you just enter your name, and we're perhaps going to do a video, a standalone video where we just have that information, so you can check, and it tells you your constituency, your polling division, and all of that. And now that the elections are called, they should soon update that system where you get the other specific details. So you can just look and you know exactly where to go. You don't have to ask anybody to look on any list and tell you where you need to go and vote. All right. So again, Garmel is saying vote for the people of Jamaica. Lebrans is saying that the PM had no other option. All right. Had he not called it, the Constitution would call it for him. Well, technically, Lebrans, if my understanding is correct, and I stand corrected here, they have until December of this year to call it. So yeah, they have until December if my understanding is correct. And again, I stand my, because after that period they have an additional 3 months, I believe. So I think they have until December. So yeah. But you can share further there in the chat. Yeah, so it's now that we know, I guess we're going to see a lot more in terms of the both political parties moving around and trying to, but it's really a very short election period, because when we did our predictions and when we're doing the calculating, we predicted specifically all these dates. So check, all right, for voices in education. And we looked at it in terms of the prediction, in terms of the shortest possible election. So when we did that, this is the shortest possible election in the context of the time frame. So what they did, they utilized the minimum at all times. So when we counted, for example, the 5 days after, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, clear 5 days, we know that we're not going to have the nomination day on Saturday, Sunday. If that were the case, then so we went Monday. And it's the same thing in the context of making the prediction for the elections. In the context, it was the least amount of days, right, from nomination to the election day. So this is really a short election time frame. All right, so it's not drawn out, it's very short. Yeah, a very short election time frame, I can tell you, based on what we predicted. So yes, guys, let me know if you have any final comments to share with us, because we're about to call it. We call it already. But we're gonna call it again. We're gonna call it for tonight. And but guess what, ours is shorter, because we're coming back tomorrow evening. Or look out for those videos, we'll try to put them up. All right, so ensure that you're hitting the like button, hitting the subscription button, and let us just continue to grow stronger together. Ovi, do you have any final comments that you would like to share?
Yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to stick and stay with us here. Really appreciate having you, and make sure you have your post notification on, and so that we can continue to talk about the elections. As my co-host mentioned, we're going to do the predictions for the various seats. So make sure you come and weigh in on that and let us know what's happening in your constituency. All right, take care and have a great night.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Avi. All right, and thanks as always for sharing. Thanks to everyone who shared in the chat, to the callers. Thank you so, so much. So, right now, we're going to play some music. Garmel is saying it is said that lightning does not strike twice in the same place. And yes, we did share that, Garmel, that it was the same date there back in 2020. But let's see what happens for sure. Thanks for sharing that in the chat. So, yes, guys, we're going to go to some music right now to sign us out. So before you leave, please ensure that you hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscription button, and turn on that post notification. Tap the bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel, especially our election predictions. So you want to be here for that. All right, so on that note, let me tell you, love your neighbor, love your friend, love whoever. The word is love. All right, let's keep the love going. All right, it doesn't matter whoever they're voting for. Please, let's keep the peace. We are pretty much here. We're Jamaicans. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what P you're voting for. At the end of the day, we are Jamaican. So let's keep that going. Blessings and love, everyone. And I will see you guys in the next live. So now over to some music.